Howdy folks, Little John, and it's time for our next Extractaganza brew, number 5, and what's this fella? The Mangrove Jack's blonde lager. So this is the first batch in the series that's coming out of a pouch. I've never actually brewed with a pouch before. Just discovered the yeast on the bottom. It's glued on bloody mighty well. I suppose I'm going to stick it on that part of the bloody pack. You need it to. Here we are. So I'll click that aside for something else. Now it's telling me on the pack, the extra fermentables it's recommending are 1.2 kilos of pure liquid malt extract or 1 kilo of dextrose or brew enhancer. So giving you plenty of options. They're talking an approximate ABV of 4%, 14 to 18 IBU, final SG 1005. Now I suppose that's going to be based if you're using a kilo of dextrose. Using malt, we're not going to get that low, that's for sure. Anyway, go at that. We're going to run with the motorbike crikes. Going to run with the normal malt and dex balance. So we're looking for that 800 grams of either and 400 of the other on the overall batch, so that should keep us down in that lower range of the alcohol. And yeast on this fella will be Kolsch. I'm going to use the Brew Kolsch style yeast. I haven't got 2 packs of lager yeast here. I would have liked to have done it as a lager, but I wasn't prepared for this fella. I didn't think this was the next one up. So I don't have 2 packs of lager yeast, and haven't got time to make a starter. I've got everything ready to go to mix this fella up. So that's what we're using, a pack of Kolsch yeast on each. Yeah, these don't have an actual temp on them, but I will be brewing this one around 19 degrees and under pressure. Won't be a lot of pressure initially. Start low, build up towards the end for carbonation, but yeah, I'll be letting enough pressure to sort of stop the Kolsch yeast from making too much of that Kolsch note, but we'll see how we go. Anyway, that's her. So I'll see you in a little while when we taste this fella, see how she comes out. Mangrove Jack's Blonde Lager from the pouch craft series pouch. Got a whack of Mangrove Jack's brews coming up in the coming little bit. I did after the initial 4 brews, when I drew out the next 4, 3 of them were Mangrove Jacks. But then I got an extra parcel delivered to me, which I've discussed on previous videos, and that's allowed me to spread out a little bit. So they're not all back to back, but there's a few more coming. But anyway, getting this fella. As I'm getting these ready here, thank you, big shout out to all the patrons, thank you for your support. Makes this happen. And obviously people sending me stuff helps as well. If you aren't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you are, thank you very much. Either way, hit the like button if you like what's going on. So this is what we're looking at. 2 nice looking, relatively nice looking beers in the bottle. Nice Nice little goldy colour going on there. So let's go. Let's make sure get myself worked out here. We'll go left to right so I don't make life a little bit easier. Okay, so as I said, Mangrove Jack's Blonde Lager in the pouch. First time I've ever used one of those pouches, so that was something new. It was a little bit fiddly, but we got there all right. And I've mixed pretty much with the standard profile, 500, well, yeah, for the half batch, 500 gram Dex and 200 light dry malt. That's just me Dex, heavy Dex, and this right hand side, which will be your left hand side, is the malt heavy. So it's 500 light dry malt, 500 light dry malt, and 200 of Dex. And again, half batch. So those numbers would be doubled if you were doing a full 23 litre batch. Original gravity was 1048 on both. These were fermented in the corny kegs with Lallemon Kolsch yeast, the Koln yeast. One packet dry into each keg. Into the fridge at 20 degrees, pressure set to 6 degrees initially, where they sat for the first 4 days. I didn't want to suppress the Kolsch yeast, I wanted to let it do its thing. Then from day 4 I let it rise up to 14 to prepare for bottling. The cold crashed a few days later and bottled as per standard process. Both finished at 1016, which I found really interesting. It surprised me, particularly with the Dex Heavy, normally would go a point or two lower, but no, they both finished at the same place. So what we have, 4.3% in the glass. And that's straight off the keg. There's no, these come straight off the all-rounder. With the beer gun, no addition of any sugars in the priming. So they're all natural. I don't know if it's showing up there, but there's a lovely carbonation in both of these beers, which is testament to how good you can get your carb levels by using that, using the all-round or any pressure fermenter, yeah, and a gun of some kind to get beer into bottles. Both holding a lovely head. Okay, that's got a real distinct nose of peach. That's got peach as well, but it's not quite as. It's got a little bit of a sherbet edge on it as well. But yeah, that's big, ripe peach. Interesting. But anyway, that's it. Dex Heavy. So this was a full batch. It'd be a kilo of Dex, 400 grams of light dry malt. Ooh. Fuck, there's some nasty twang in that. Whew, jeez. I have been interested in how these pouches were going to go, because they rave on about bloody what a good method it is and how it really traps in all the bloody goodness and all that good stuff in the malt, and preserves all the flavours and stuff. So there was some hope that there wasn't going to be the twang, but okay, it's not as savage on the second mouthful, but it's there. It's a shame, because I think there's actually quite a nice beer there underneath it. Anyway, I'm going to roll for a little bit, see if I can just adjust to that twang a little bit so I can actually get to some flavour. Okay. Yeah. The taste buds have adjusted, but it's still there. It's not as bad. That initial was fairly intense. And that can be me. I mean, I've said it many times before. I think I'm fairly susceptible to the kit twang. And unfortunately, I do tend to go looking for it, even if I try not to. But the reality is, if it's there, it's there. Can't taste it if it's not. Well, beyond that, there's a nice little bit of sweetness in both the brews. It's a nice body. It's probably a bit heavier than what you'd expect for a Kolsch. A 1016. I would have thought it would have gone a little bit lower than that. But the Kolsch yeast is a low attenuator. It does leave some body and some sweetness. So this particular beer could probably wouldn't hurt having a higher attenuative yeast to drop it down a little bit more and lighten the body. Pardon me. But it's quite drinkable as it is. Well, there's some nice sweet malt there. It's a gentle bitterness. I said overall it's not too bad a beer. The twang is not as noticeable once your palate and your mouth adjust to it. And it does become more drinkable. I'll say, for me, the malt heavy is less affected by the twang. The twang is not as noticeable. There's more of the flavour of the beer and the sweetness of the malt coming through. But obviously, because there's more malt in there, I think the dextrose is probably, that higher dextrose is probably contributing a little bit to the twang. It's probably, yeah, it's probably not so much highlighting, but it's not masking it the same way that the malt is. So I think malt heavy, definitely the way to go. I think if you want to throw a little bit of hop in this, you know, just a little bit of dry or a late steep, just a short steep, or something, noble and light, SARS, middle throw, even a Tetnang, something like that, or even something a little bit fruity, something, Citra, lemon drop, even an Amarillo or a Cascade, I think would lift it a little bit, and that would certainly help to detract from that little bit of twang that's there. Yeah, I'm sort of half and half on this. I'm not going to write it off as a bad kit. I'm not going to praise it up as a good kit. I think, as I said, it would warrant perhaps doing it with a lager yeast. I mean it is a lager, and the Kolsch per se is an ale yeast. So I may not be doing the best for the style by not having done it with a lager yeast. I think even a USA 5 at 15 degrees possibly would have created a slightly cleaner beer. So it would have attenuated a little bit better, which may help with that bit of a twang, but then at the same time it may not. Taking some more sugar and a bit more sweetness out of it may actually make that more noticeable. Hard to say. But I think if you're into your, you do like your lagers and the blondes and that sort of stuff, yeah, light flavoured malty type of lager, I think it's worth for giving it a go at least once, and playing around with it. I don't think there's enough in it for me to warrant to play around with it too much more, but that's me. I'm busy doing other brews, so. But that's it. Slight winner with the malt. The Dex isn't terrible. Yeah, it's a little bit lighter in the body, but it's also a little bit more of that. Yeah, a little bit of twang there. But it's not bad. Certainly not as bad as a lot of other kits I've tried over the years. So I'm going to give it. Look, I'm going to leave it as a 3. Yeah, like I said, if blondes are your thing, try it out. But I wouldn't be racing out, yeah, to do it. So interesting that the Dex Heavy versions actually lacing better than the malt. But anyway, so guys, if you've brewed the Mangrove Jacks, the blonde lager, if you've done the pouches, stick a comment down the bottom. Let us know. If you brew this and you found a way to make this into a great kit, share it with everybody. But as for now, that's me. So once again, Patreons, subscribers, yeah, all the supporters of the channel, big thumbs up and thank you very much. Next brew coming along is another ESB 3 kilo kit, Riwaka Pale Ale. So that'll be a couple of weeks away. It was bought on the 10th of July, so we've got 2 weeks till it's ready to go. So I'll see you then. And somewhere between here and there, we'll be brewing beer, drinking beer, talking beer. So cheers, guys.